Hello, my lovely friends. For the ones who are new here, welcome. I'm Michaela, and this is my astrology channel called Todayenergy. In this video, I would like to share with you my insights about a very beautiful, positive event that is approaching, and it's the conjunction of Venus and the Sun. It's going to happen on the 22nd or the 23rd, depends where are you located. For instance, I am in Central Europe, and for me, the precise conjunction will happen on the 22nd, late in the night. Venus will be Cazimi. That was the term that the ancient astrologers used to describe the planet, which was precisely in the center of the sun from our earthly perspective, or they were saying in the heart of the sun. So Venus will be precisely conjuncting the sun at 29 degrees and 25 minutes of Libra. Now, you probably know from my previous videos, if you have checked them, that we are currently passing through a quite intense time. We are in the middle of an eclipse season currently. Mars is stationing at the moment to go retrograde. We just passed through the last square of Saturn and Uranus on the sky, and on the very same day that Venus is Cazimi, Saturn will be stationing to turn direct. Now, it's a good news that the planet turns direct. It will open many doors for us, and I will mention a couple of words about this as well. But when the planet is stationary, that means it's quite intense and it's very influential for us around this date. So a very powerful Saturn we have currently. So we really need this gentle, kind, beautiful, loving, peaceful, hopeful energy of the benefic planet Venus. It must support us. And I'm very pleased to see that all these qualities of Venus will be actually enhanced. They will be exalted, emphasized, illuminated on this date by the Sun. Of course, the Sun is the life giver, the light bringer of the universe. It's the representation of the divine creator and inspiration. Besides, of course, Venus is in her own sign. She rules Libra as well as Taurus. So she's so strong, powerful, happy, which means quite efficient and very giving to us of her blessings. So first, I will explain you briefly what are the Venus cycles, how they work, and the types of conjunctions she makes with the Sun, and why this particular conjunction is so important. And then in the second half of the video, I will give a more specific short forecast for each sign. I want just first to point out that I practice Western tropical astrology. And for my general forecasts here, I use the whole sign system. But for instance, in my private consultations, I tend to focus more on Placidos. Depends on the techniques I'm using. Oftentimes, I am combining it with the whole sign for the more in-depth analysis of your charts. And I do find Placidus a bit more personal house system, but here, for the sake of this general reading, as I don't know personally each of you and I haven't seen each personal chart, of course, so for the sake of the general reading, whole sign system works perfectly. It's, at the end of the day, the most ancient house system used by our ancestors, the ancient astrologers. Also, I would love to give you special thanks for all of you, my dears, who are interacting with me, with this channel, via comments below the videos, via putting likes for these videos, sharing them with your loved ones and friends. by, of course, subscribing to my channel. You know that this makes me very happy to see how our community of wonderful and wise people is growing, and of course the channel itself is developing this way. So Venus Cazimi is a really beautiful, special moment of clarity, of important realizations, of these aha moments related to feelings, to relationships, to finances, aesthetics, and values. 29th degree of each sign is also a special one. Here, being in the 29th degree of a sign, planets express their energy in a much more mature, experienced, wise way. And of course, they don't like to waste time, so they can be quite efficient in this degree. And we know the general characteristics of Libra, where this is happening. Libra wants always peace, balance, fairness, justice, harmony, love, and fruitful and equal cooperation between people and partners. Now, while we are observing Venus's synodic cycle means her rotation around the sun, we clearly see that she's moving in a very harmonious rhythm. The whole cycle of Venus, to make one complete turn around the sun from our earthly perspective, well, it takes 584 days, that is 19 months. And this whole cycle of Venus starts when she is retrograde, and then she does the so-called inferior conjunction with the sun. If we compare it to the cycle of the moon, this is like the new moon phase for Venus. In this moment, she is located between us, Earth, and the sun. So when she is retrograding and doing this inferior conjunction, the new moon for her, Venus is very slow. When she is visible, she is also super bright. And of course, she is closest to us. Since it's the new moon phase for Venus, is the time of seeding, is the time of beginnings, of setting intentions regarding definitely Venusian topics. Something Venusian can be born in our life, like a new love, a new partnership, a new creative project. We can start creating a piece of art. We can start some financial activity or investment, start some beauty procedures. Now, after this inferior conjunction, around 9 months, 9 months and a half, Venus is moving, and then reaching the peak culmination point of her cycle, something like a full moon for her. And then again, she conjuncts the sun. This time, this is called superior conjunction. And it's like her full moon phase. While Venus is in her waxing phase, so she's growing from new moon to full moon of hers, she's called morning star, Lucifer. Lucifer means light bringer from Latin language. Then we see her exactly at dawn, when she is rising on the eastern horizon just before the sun. Let me actually show you. I'll share the screen with you. So here you can see the orbit of Venus around the sun. This is Earth and its rotation around the sun. So this is exactly the moment of this inferior conjunction of Venus and the sun, when we are aligned, Earth, Venus, Sun. So Venus is closest to us and she's in her retrograde motion as per our perspective. And from this conjunction up to this conjunction when she is the furthest from the Earth, and the sun is between us and Venus, so then she experiences the superior conjunction with the sun. Well, this phase is called morning star, Lucifer Venus. If you would like to check in your natal chart whether you were born with Lucifer Venus, check the positions, of course, of the sun and of Venus. And if first comes Venus by degree in zodiacal order, and then in later degree is the sun, for instance, Venus is at 2 degrees Scorpio, and then the sun is at 10 degrees Scorpio in your natal chart, then you were born with Lucifer Venus. Her energy is very youthful, very intuitive, quite easygoing, spontaneous, a bit more extroverted, looking ahead, super creative. Such a Venus is quite quick to feel, quick to fall in and out of love. So more easily you develop feelings, but then equally easily you can release yourself from the previous connections. And then we have the superior conjunction, the full moon. Then Venus is very fast, but definitely not so bright in the sky. And during this conjunction, or this phase overall of the direct Venus, we can experience some culminations, blossoming, or turning points, and even endings, but also possible some adjustments of Venusian topics, very likely that we have started 9 months and a half ago, during her inferior conjunction. So this phase of Venus, kind of her full moon, brings much better understanding of, let's say, what we value, and some maturity in our choices, especially of love, of aesthetics, values, financial choices, how we earn money, what we spend them for, and so on. After the superior conjunction, Venus becomes the evening star, Hesperus. So she starts her waning phase. In this period of time, she sets on the western horizon after the sun. In our charts, if your Venus in zodiac order stands after the sun, so for example, you have the sun at 10 degrees Scorpio, and you see that your Venus in your natal chart is at 17 degrees Scorpio, then you were born with Hesperus Venus. She's a bit more mature here, more cautious. She's a slow feeler. She needs time to process and understand her feelings. Emotions are more deep and hence more lasting. This Venus can be more nostalgic. For her, it can be harder to let go of connections, people, relationships, what she loves and values. Such Venus can be more influenced by traditions and spiritual values related to forming partnerships, relationships, earning money, beauty standards, style standards, and so on. And of course, 9 months after, Venus is completing her cycle, finishing, ending the old, and preparing to begin her new cycle with this new conjunction. So remember, we have inferior conjunctions like new beginnings and new moon, and superior conjunction of Venus and the Sun like a culmination point, time for readjusting or letting go or enjoying a blossom of something related to Venus, of course. Now, in the space of 8 years, Venus makes 5 cycles. That is 5 times she has inferior conjunction with the Sun. And of course, it means that 5 times she also has the superior conjunction, because every new moon comes always with a full moon before another new moon comes. And when we look at the signs in which these conjunctions of Sun and Venus happen, those signs form a star with 5 points, a pentagram. Here you can see this Venusian star, the pentagram, with the signs. Since I was born, Venus has been forming her conjunctions with the Sun in 5 same signs. That is Aries, Gemini, Leo, Scorpio, and Capricorn. And every 8th year, she comes to the same sign and position and about the same date even as it was 8 years ago. Now, the degrees and the signs of these conjunctions, they do slowly shift, and they shift in clockwise direction, which means the conjunction of Venus move gradually and very slowly in a sense of a kind of like a retrograde planet would move, or like the karmic lunar nodes are moving. So for instance, from Scorpio into Libra, from Libra into Virgo, right? From Aries into Pisces, and so on. For example, in January 2022, we had retrograde Venus conjuncting the Sun, so that was an inferior conjunction, the new moon for Venus, at 18 degrees Capricorn. 8 years prior that, so in January as well, but of 2014, retrograde Venus conjuncted the Sun at 21 degree Capricorn. So you see, it shifted from 21 degree Capricorn to 18 degree Capricorn. So in 8 years' time, it probably will happen at 16 Capricorn. Scorpio has been one of the star arms or star point for Venus since 1926. A conjunction of Venus and Sun in a sign, kind of moving through the same sign, happens for about 100 to 150 years, but then it shifts to the previous one, right? So now we are living a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Yes, 8 years ago, in October 2014, Sun and Venus had a superior conjunction at 2 degrees Scorpio. But this year, the superior conjunction of direct Venus and Sun, so this full moon for Venus, will shift to, as we already mentioned, 29 degrees Libra. So 1 point of this pentagram shifts, changes, goes from Scorpio into Libra, and here it will stay for the next 100 years. Aren't we lucky to presence this important Venusian change? Now, I must mention that in October 2026, we will have still an inferior conjunction at 0 Scorpio, but from then on, both superiors and inferiors conjunctions of this arm of the star will happen in Libra. The other 4 signs, for now, the other 4 points remain in the same signs. So they move through Aries, Gemini, Leo, and Capricorn. So think about it, how much emphasis that shift puts on the air energy, on the Libra, on the true, real manifestation of Venusian values. How much more kind, friendly, diplomatic, just, fair can we become? And how many more beautiful friendships and relationships we can build, right? You see, Venus, well, we already know what she means in our charts, right? It's the feminine energy, it's what we like, It's how we enjoy life. It's how we feel pleasure, what we need to be happy, how we want to connect to the others, how we earn money, how we spend money. But on the collective level, Venus shows what we collectively like, what are the social values of people, what generally people are keen to spend money on and how they would earn them. So we can philosophize here that instead of, let's say, the precious and value, so much value on underground resources like gas, petrol, and warfare, which are part of the significances of Scorpio, we will be more prone to spend money on art, on beauty, let's say couple counseling, matchmakers, maybe even legal system, because one of the significances of Libra is fairness and equality and justice and law, hence. You see, if Scorpio would rule destruction, then Libra will rule reparations. If Scorpio meant more codependency, control issues in relationships, this merging emotionally and clinging to something or someone now could shift into more harmonious, equal relationships, more intellectual connection, more communication between people, looking for consensus, looking for agreements, understandings, collaboration. Again, it is, of course, relationships, but in the best case, it's kind of should mean two integral, independent individuals, whole by themselves, connecting in a harmonious union together to feel joy, to be happy. If I go back to the chart of Venus Cazimi, here it is, built for the 22nd of October 2022 for 11:45 p.m. Sofia, Bulgaria time. Here you can find Venus and Sun conjunct at 29 degrees Libra, and you can clearly see that they still make a square, which is an intense aspect, to Pluto in Capricorn. So it might mean that at the beginning of the cycle, some secrets and even perhaps some unpleasant, ugly truth can be and even must be revealed. We must confront some issues related to power struggles. We must confront them in order to deal with them, to solve them. Maybe there will be news about money schemes, about mafia or government, some dirty games, secret agreements, some issues related to control and manipulation regarding money, resources, or in relationships regarding women. Maybe we should address in order to heal some painful self-esteem issues, some obsessions. Most probably Pluto will want to fix some destructive relationship patterns. You see, Pluto usually asks to release, to forgive, to heal, to admit, to let go, to regain your power, to be reborn, transformed, to turn the page and start from a clean new slate. Remember always that in your shadow side, lies your potential. In your vulnerability and fears lie your strengths and talents. Now, I will mention as well that for people who use the whole sign system, which means that if you were born with rising sign, with ascendant in Cancer, no matter if it was 2 degrees Cancer or 27 Cancer, Cancer becomes your whole first house. So signs equal houses. This chart, you see, it's built in a Placidus system. So the portions of the circle, the houses, the areas of life are not equally distributed. It's very much time-dependent system. But for those of you who use whole sign system, that shift is even more significant because it means that from attention to Scorpio topics every 4 years, when there are these superior or inferior conjunctions of Venus in Scorpio, now this attention shifts to the Libra house of your chart immediately with this very new conjunction in Libra. Because, for instance, look at this chart. If this would be a person born on this date, in this hour, in this location, this would be a natal chart, right? So for this person, whenever on the sky that would happen, this conjunction, whether at 2 degrees Scorpio, 0 degrees Scorpio, 29 Libra, or even 15 Libra, still all of this happens in the 4th house. Of course, the flavor would be different. Scorpionic conjunction and Libra conjunction, you just heard me speaking about this, is quite different. But more significantly, this person would be influenced by such a Libra conjunction of Sun and Venus when it will approach their IC point, the cusp of their 4th house, which in this case is at 6 degrees of Libra. But in any case, I stop sharing the screen now. And since we covered the general importance and explanation of this beautiful, indeed very harmonious Venus cycle, like her nature itself, let's jump into the forecast for each zodiac sign. I base my forecasts on our ascendants. So I encourage you, first and foremost, to listen to the information for your rising sign. But do not skip also the forecast for your sun sign, because for me personally and for many of my clients and friends, it turns out very relevant and also playing out in their life, the forecast according to your sun sign. Last but not least, you can add as well, if you have additional 3-4 minutes, the information regarding your moon sign, because this might give you even more in-depth overview of the full effect of this astrological event, especially for you. Plus, the moon might show you how you will feel about it and, you know, your emotional state, and maybe even how you would kind of react on these energies. My dear Aries, ascendant, sun, and moon sign Aries, this superior conjunction of Venus, this full moon regarding Venusian topics happens in your 7th house, which is traditionally ruled by Venus. So definitely on the spotlight for you are topics of relationships, partnerships, collaborations, dealing with business partners or with clients, with contracts and agreements. And since we talk about the energy of culmination, maybe of something that you have seeded, planted, think of, started 9.5 months ago, or it doesn't have to be necessarily related to this period of time, but generally there might be some important realizations about your one-to-one relationships, whether to continue or to end them. Are you happier with someone, or you need your freedom? For some of you, that means engagements, that means marriages, weddings, continuing your partnership, going to next level in a partnership, more commitment, signing or re-signing already existing contracts, reassessing the conditions of the existing ones, keeping the collaboration, but maybe on different terms with some business partners. Maybe you receive important feedback from your clients. Overall, you might think of what you need and want and value in your one-to-one relationships, what they represent for you. Maybe make a a list of priorities of what you look for in a life partner to stay with them. So yeah, think about your place in relationships. Are you valued? Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Is your partner valued, happy, and satisfied? Maybe there will be some important conversation about these topics. And 29th degree, remember, it brings a bit of sense of completion, about urgency, about not wasting time, but also about being very wise and experienced already in such matters. So not to make some newbies mistakes here, or not to rush impulsively into something new. It's more to take a mature, wise stance on your partnerships. Besides this, Saturn is exactly at the moment stationing to go direct in your 11th house. So after all these months of reconstructing, of purging, of streamlining the area of your friendships and group partnerships and participation in group projects or some online activities, building proper boundaries as well, choosing who your true friends are and who you don't have to rely on in your life, or you can't. Now, finally, this area, it's unstuck. So no more blockages to connect with your colleagues or like-minded people, or people with whom you participate in some shared activities. As well, 11th house is your hopes, dreams, and wishes for your future. So here also maybe you have been restructuring your idea of what exactly you wish for yourself in the future and how to achieve it. Maybe now you consider whether you will make it alone or with a partner, who exactly will be the chosen one to support you and to go together in this personal or professional journey. And as well, 11th house talks about your income, remuneration, acknowledgement, rewards from your profession. So while Saturn was retrograding, maybe you were meeting some delays and obstacles to receive money for your professional performance. If for example, you are an advisor, a consultant, counselor, yeah, you work one-to-one with clients, with people. So now maybe you will finally get paid for your efforts or acknowledged by some certification or reward. Dear Taurus, for you, this beautiful Venus superior conjunction with the Sun, which brings the flavor of full moon in Venusian topics, happens in your 6th house. Besides this, Venus is your ruler. So you are so much dignified. You are illuminated by the divine light of inspiration. You might receive super important insights. You might receive joy, pleasure, the deserved love, recognition by the others, and your wishes regarding financial projects, personal relationships, friendships, partnerships, beauty can come to fruition. Now, since it happens in your 6th house, we're talking about mostly health, work, your daily routine, and your daily tasks and responsibilities of repairing something, fixing situations, helping people. Here you can ask yourself questions. Am I valued by people to whom I help? Am I properly valued and appreciated and remunerated at work for what I do with my colleagues? Am I valued by my employees? Do I reward them in a good way? Are they happy in my company, in my team? Maybe here you will together reach a culmination of a work project. You will deliver it and you will celebrate and of course get paid. Maybe you will realize that this is not the job that makes you happy, that you can't keep a proper work-life balance. that your body suffers, your health suffers, so enough is enough. And here you will decide to, let's say, end your work activity. Definitely, you will learn to value your health, your body. You might turn to more healthy habits. Maybe now you will see result of your diet, of your exercises, of your beauty procedures, of acupuncture sessions, massages, aqua aerobics, yoga sessions that you were attending for the last, say, 9 months, 9 months and a half. And now you look at yourself in the mirror and you love yourself and you're proud of your achievements, proud of cutting sugar, cutting fats, cutting unhealthy habits, like spoiling yourself too much with the goodies, right? On the other hand, maybe you will realize now, Venus will kind of open your eyes that you deserve better daily routine, that you deserve more sleep, better office setting, more comfortable chair, more beautiful desk environment, work environment overall, and some relax from helping other people around. There might be culmination in a healing process. So being healed, reaching the state that you love your body. You appreciate your body, you take good care of your body, you release bad habits, and you introduce a more healthy and pleasant routine as at work, as well as in personal life. Well, and regarding health, besides this, Saturn is turning direct these days in your 10th house of career and status. So all the past months, Saturn was going retrograde, so you were restructuring your professional goals and ideas, your image perhaps in front of your employees and colleagues, but also superiors. Maybe there were changes in your management and directors of a company, or you were preparing to launch a business, but there were delays, there were obstacles to overcome, and now Saturn will move direct. So you will have the support of this planet to build something productive, long-lasting, and sustainable, stable and sustainable success will come to you definitely. So I see this Venus Cazimi in your 6th house, Saturn unstucking the obstacles in your 10th house of reputation, achievements, work and status. So maybe you are truly getting noticed and reward for your efforts, and becoming truly appreciated at work, acknowledged, and receiving some pay raise, or moving up the career ladder, or even opening your own business. And then nice people will come to help you as employees. Dear Gemini, for you, this beautiful Venusian superior conjunction, like a full moon of Venusian topics, happens in your 5th house. Some sort of culmination in love matters, romantic relationships, maybe something that has started 9 months and a half ago, but not necessarily, is reaching to a culmination point where you decide whether you stay together, you move to a next level, you develop the relationship, or maybe you will feel nicer, freer, happier if you just separate. Maybe it's also a culmination in regards your plans and ideas about having children. So maybe now you get happy news about pregnancy, or you reach some culmination in your relationship with your children. Maybe you had some arguments, misunderstandings, and now you faced them, and you managed to repair your nice relationship with children in your life generally, whether your own or your nieces, nephews, or maybe you're a teacher in a school. So now you get acknowledgement and reward from your class and from other colleagues, teachers and directors, and so on. Also, fifth house is hobbies, creative projects. So maybe your inspiration currently is at its peak. So you can create something beautiful, amazing, show it to the world. Maybe now you have a performance, an exhibition, and you become wanted and popular. People pay money for your artwork or for your performances. Definitely, you must feel very inspired now with this conjunction. You can present your talents or discover new talents, blossom of your creativity. And Venus is money, right? So wealth can come from your hobby. So finally you can monetize it and earn money from what you truly love doing. And it actually can become your own business. In the case you already have your own business. So here Venus also can put it on the spotlight. Maybe you'll start selling in internet or consulting, whatever you do as your desired vocation and profession by yourself, you can receive here tons of love and popularity and recognition, as well as money, for sure. Also, this conjunction here, Gemini, reminds you to live your life and love yourself and love your life and love and have fun, pleasure, and do things that you truly love doing and get inspired by them. Dear Cancer, for you, this Venusian superior conjunction with the Sun, something like a full moon for Venus, happens in your fourth house. So what a wonderful time you can experience now at home with your family. Maybe there will be lovely family reunions. Maybe there will be weddings, engagements, babies being born in the family, boyfriends, girlfriends being introduced. You have the chance and inspiration most probably now to beautify your place of living, make your home nicer, cozier, invest money into property, start receiving money from property. Remember, it's a culmination point. So something you have started around 9 months ago in regards of your place of living, family members, parents, maybe you started a family business or you became a real estate agent and now you're popular, demanded, respected, you receive acknowledgement and money, of course, for what you do. Maybe you work from home simply. Maybe you are relocating currently somewhere where you feel nicer and safer. Also, on a deeper level, fourth house are our emotions, our true inner core and self, our memories from the past, our childhood and family patterns. So here you might evaluate overall your childhood experiences, your family values, what your family taught you about, especially about love, money, beauty. So maybe here you will be inspired by this Venus at the heart of the Sun to build your family in your own manner, how you like it to be. Separate yourself maybe from the influence of your parents or grandparents or your country's traditions, or vice versa. Maybe you'll feel joy to rediscover your traditional holidays, something from your past, which will make you feel nicer, and maybe you will give it a new life. As well, Saturn is turning direct in your 8th house. So for the last couple of months, well, more than a couple of months, really, Saturn was moving retrograde. You can check my video about Saturn retrograde on this channel. And it was creating some obstacles, delays in the area of 8th house. That could be getting pregnant, that could be getting a mortgage, taking a loan, your partner to find a job, your investment to start paying off. But now finally, after a time for yourself to restructure your things in those areas of life, 8th house is also your deep inner psychology and your interest in the occult. So maybe you took time to learn astrology, learn tarot, work with a psychologist regarding family issues, dig deep in yourself, release some traumas, release some insults, issues, fears, something you were holding back from either very deeply emotionally or regarding your parents and family. And now it's like a fresh new start for you. And now you can get into intimate relationships without fear of trust, without trust issues, and yeah, getting in a very, very deep connection with someone you love. And also financially, this passive income money can more easily flow to you now. Also, maybe in the 8th house with Saturn transiting there, you had to learn to put boundaries and stand up against, let's say, home torturing or violence or psychological abuse. And now you have overcome it and you can feel lovely and safe again at home. Dear Leos, for you, this beautiful Venusian conjunction, like a full moon of Venusian topics, happens in your 3rd house. So maybe it's a culmination and making peace with your siblings, cousins, neighbors. Maybe you meet them again. There is this reunion of family or of former classmates. Maybe you meet old friends. You reestablish connection with some of them. Or maybe you decided it's time to part away. Maybe you're relocating to a new neighborhood. So you will be in a new environment. What else? 3rd house talks about studies. So maybe you're concluding some course, whether it's about knowledge, like history of art, for instance, or maybe you conclude a course that taught you some skills, some beautiful skills, making something pretty with by your hands. So candles or vases from clay, or maybe you are evaluating currently whether to continue with this or to just drop it, right? Because it's a culmination point. It's a point of seeing things more clearly and understanding what you truly like, what you truly value as knowledge and skills, and go for it. Finish it or drop it, the one that you didn't like. But you can dedicate yourself to textile, art, ikebana, design, some beautiful crafts, or of course, knowledge about gender equality or about relationships, finances. Maybe you are currently passing and finishing financial course as well. You might meet love while you travel or at the car repair station or at the petrol station. You might now sell or buy a lovely vehicle that if you buy it, you will truly, truly enjoy it. So you can invest now money, right? Venus money into studies, courses, trips, traveling, or vehicles. You can become much more diplomatic when communicating with others, when sharing your knowledge, skills, and ideas. People are very friendly to you as well, offline and online too. It's a great time for online businesses, whether it's a blog, a vlog, whether you make a website, it will turn gorgeously now, or if you launch it now, right? Because we're talking about the culmination of some process that was going on for the last 9 months, around 9 months. Maybe you were communicating in a group of great women with the same inspiration. Together you were learning, practicing some craft. So diplomacy and communication, and also beautiful and peaceful mind. It's a great time for enhancing your positive thinking and for practicing affirmations about love, about aesthetics, beauty, and self-esteem and self-care, for sure. Saturn is turning direct currently in your 7th house. For the past several months, it was going retrograde, and you can check my video previously on my channel. I described in depth the retrogradation of Saturn, but it was time of restructuring your relationships, evaluating which people should stay in your life, which relationships are solid and sustainable, and which superficial ones must exit and quit your life and not waste your time, because Saturn is a lot about time. There might have been some coldness or obstacles for you to be together with your loved one or find them. So After such reevaluation, restructuring, boundaries, now this area of life can be unstuck. So truly, you can even meet someone online through courses, while traveling, through friends, through neighbors, on a social community, local gatherings in your neighborhood, for instance, and meet some pretty stable, serious partners, by the way, as personal as well as business. If you are trading something, if you are in the marketing, PR, or educational sphere, or of course as well something about transportation. Dear Virgos, for you, this Venus Cazimi happens in your second house, classically and traditionally ruled by Venus in its Taurus archetype. Well, since it's like a full moon for Venusian topics, we're talking about a culmination, about realization, about blossoming of something regarding your finances, work. So maybe finally you find your dream job, or finally you get paid for some project you finished even 9 months ago, or you were constantly working on such a long time consuming project, and suddenly it's the acknowledgement time. You deliver your work and you get the appreciation, acknowledgement, and money as well, of course. Time to pamper yourself, to spend money on something that truly brings you pleasure, because Venus is joy, happiness, love. It's pampering yourself. And in second house is a lot about sensual pleasures, something that you like on touch, on taste, on smell, how it looks like. So maybe you want to beautify your home, buy some nice furniture, or rearranging the home or the office the way it's more pleasant for you to stay, relax, or work. Maybe you have a realization about your feeling of material and financial security and stability. Do you lack something? Do you need something? Are you overworking because of some fears? Can you let go of those fears? Are you stable enough? And so on. Very importantly, second house is about your self-worth. So here, Venus at the culmination in the heart of the sun, so illuminated that it's like opening your eyes about whether you were underpaid, for example. So you might ask for a pay raise, how valued you were at work for your knowledge, for your skills, for your time, because this is all what we trade with others, right? In order to get the decent payment. Also your voice, second house rules the neck and the voice, the self-expression, and of course Venus is the beauty. So you might reveal in front of others that you are actually a great singer, or you love reading poetry online, or you are amazing diplomat. So you have this diplomatic skills, so show them to the world as well. You might really purchase some beautiful objects to make yourself and your home and your body happy as well. Some nice, delicious food. But it's a great combination actually here for budget and for income. Saturn is turning direct in your sixth house. That's a great news, because sixth house is about solving problems, helping others, doing some repairment, fixing things, pushing it at work, pushing it about your health. So now it's time maybe more to relax, maybe since you will start valuing more your skills and abilities, and you will work less, but for a more decent salary. You have time while Saturn was moving retrograde to build boundaries with your colleagues, with your employees, to find the proper team, to know whom you can rely on to, and who is maybe not the person to collaborate with. Maybe you were struggling with your health, maybe you were trying to get rid of bad habits. Well, here, finally, Saturn moves direct. This area of life gets easier and unstuck. So hopefully you quit smoking, drinking, less sugar, more exercise. Now you can be more gentle with yourself but also value proper life-work balance, do some exercises, basically keep yourself in a good shape and condition. Dear Libras, for you, this conjunction happens, of course, in your first house, and for the next 100 years. Venus will be conjuncting the Sun every 8 years in your sign. So this is beautiful and wonderful, really. And now it's just towards at the very end of the sign. So mostly Libras who have Ascendant, Sun, and Moon after the 20th degree, you will feel it the most. But later, remember, it will be shifting slowly but surely by 2 degrees every time. Great time, dear Libras, to feel loved, loving, and lovable, to practice self-love, pleasure, to spoil yourself, pamper yourself, love yourself. And I think you will be receiving a lot of love from the outside world as well. But it's usually a reflection anyways of how do we feel, isn't it? So what can I say? I mean, Venus is your ruler, right? She is here with you, but just one day later, she will be transferring into Scorpio. So use all this time period to shine, to spread love and kindness into the world, to show others how to be just, fair, elegant, kind to others. We really need this energy in the world that you teach us about, the equality, the looking for consensus so everyone can be satisfied and happy. Of course, Venus Cazimi in your first house might mean meeting someone special in your life, or more than meeting, because it's more like a culmination point, right? It's a superior conjunction. So we're more talking about going to the next level with your partner, business or personal one, with your clients. Maybe you're upgrading your qualification and now more clients will see you and start coming to you for counseling, advices, and so on. Definitely your planet ruler Venus is now being in the heart of the sun on a private audience with the king, so enlightened, so bright, so wise, so happy, so inspired, right? It's the divine inspiration. So you can reach the culmination and blossoming of projects you have started maybe like 9 months ago, possibly, and now it's visible to the world. It's an exhibition, it's a performance, it's reaching high social status, it's a wedding and or engagement, or opening a website, a blog, or publishing a book, and so on. Maybe you're ending some diets, some beauty procedures that you were doing regularly until now you see the result and you really like it, and you congratulate yourself for all this time and efforts. Maybe you're changing your style, you become kind of more grounded or more mature. You become maybe a peacemaker in some sense. Well, Saturn is turning direct also in your 5th house. That's a great news, because all this time while he was retrograding through the 5th house, and you can always refer to my video on my channel about Saturn retrograde, that was a tough time of restructuring your romantic life, of putting boundaries, of choosing the right partner, of building priorities. Also, the same goes about relationship with children or idea of having children. Maybe you were preparing for pregnancy and now you have the good news. So the true partner, romantic one, is probably staying with you. Of course, the relationships which were more superficial are more likely to leave and dissolve, but that's everything for your own good, for the best for you. And yeah, now this area of life is unstuck. So romantic life, love life, children, inspiration, creativity. Now it's more open, more solid. Maybe you'll start your own business, start earning money from your hobby. So it's all becomes more mature, more coherent, but definitely it should bring you a lot of pleasure and recognition by the others. Dear Scorpios, for you, this Venus superior conjunction, which is like a full moon in Venusian topics, happens in your 12th house, according to the whole sign system. So these conjunctions were going on in your house, in your sign, first house, yeah, and now they moved to the 12th house. So now they will be more subtle, more hidden, but still that will bring you such a wonderful peace of mind, this inner happiness, even without a reason. Isn't it fantastic sometimes to just feel great, glad, satisfied, happy, loving, loved, without anything like manifesting necessarily in the real life, but maybe it already manifested. Maybe you are doing amazing job now with the South Node transit in your first house, or your sun or your moon. And so now there is this sense of calming down your emotions from within. Maybe you're working with a therapist and now you reach this culmination point in this work, because it's like a full moon, right? It's not something new. It's rather completing or reaping the rewards of something you have started or planted, seeded around 9 months ago. And it's related to your subconscious, to your past. Maybe you were cleaning your past, and now, after wandering around fears and doubts and phobias and insults and grudges, now you let it go and you are free to produce this inner love within. Liberate yourself from unconscious, how to say, like things that keep you down, keep you back, that pull you down, self-destructive habits, obsessive behavior or the thinking, anything related to love, like jealousy, like difficulty to let go, like fear of intimacy, of trust, trust issues, and so on. Self-love, love for faraway travels. Maybe you'll discover pleasure in reading magazines like National Geographic, watching documentaries about the world and ancient cultures, travel to some overseas places, go for a holiday on an island, go for a spa retreat, yoga retreat, spiritual retreat. Yeah, 12th house is to be in isolation, and Venus is all sorts of pleasure and nice pampering, and at least nice walk in the nature, somewhere quiet and peaceful, right? So it can be a holiday on some Asian island, for example, but not so much maybe for party, rather for relax. And there you might meet your love as well. Or it might be a retreat with women, Venus, right? Reach a calm and balanced inner peace, relax your psyche. Maybe you are receiving now some rewards from a work project that you were doing online or from home, secretly, quietly, in isolation, you know, and now maybe you are revealing it. So you get the acknowledgement. Maybe you will meet love from the past, even from past life. It's great to practice self-love and self-care. Great to participate in charity. Maybe you do work in a hospital, in an asylum, with refugees, with people with addictions, or just helping people now in difficult situations. And now you feel just pleasure and joy by doing something charitable to help others. And that will be, of course, always returned to you in a very positive way, in a positive energy. Saturn is turning direct in your 4th house. So if those last couple of months was a time of restructuring, maybe your boundaries with your parents, deciding where you want to live, finishing a repairs or building of a home, generally building solid foundations for yourself, getting in order your memories about the past, issues from your childhood, sorting out family patterns which are useful and which are unhealthy, How do you want to build your family? Taking more responsibility about your family members, or trying to take a credit, a mortgage to have a property. Working again with a psychologist to let go of some issues from the past. Well, now all these areas are cleaned, restructured. That's wonderful. And the home environment is rather unstuck from delays and obstacles. So you will get this mortgage, you will enjoy your new built house or repaired apartment, or you will rent it and go to live to Bali by the money you receive as a rent from your tenants. So you have time for spiritual practices and faraway distance travels, while at home you feel more kind of the situation in your family, in your place of living is stabilized now and even supporting you and helping you. Maybe you go back as a regression to old lives, or you do constellations to meet your ancestors and solve some issues with them, or you literally travel to the homeland of your ancestors to rediscover and enjoy your roots. Dear Sagittarius, for you, this beautiful Venus Cazimi happens in your 11th house. It's a great part of the horoscope. It talks about friends, it talks about dreams and wishes. And since this is a superior conjunction between the Venus and the Sun, talking about kind of a full moon, a culmination, a blossoming of something. So you might have these wonderful meetings with your friends, colleagues, students. You might reach peak and acknowledgement and popularity in your online project if you are a media person, because 11th house is about internet projects. You might inspire the crowd, maybe you're a celebrity, or you work in a corporation and now you have this wrapping up of a project, so you receive money, you receive acknowledgement, certification, maybe you're finishing studies and you become an expert. Maybe something wonderful happens in life of your friends, like someone becomes parent or there is a wedding. So there is great joyous around reunion. You can find love amongst your friends. So some friend can suddenly turn into a couple, a partner, a loved one for you. Hopes, dreams, and wishes. Some dream, long-term dream or wish becomes a reality. So that's fantastic. Enjoy it. You can earn good money from presentations, exhibitions, performances, especially with like-minded people, money from non-governmental organizations, from some social activities, maybe helping refugees, maybe receiving scholarships by being a volunteer. This can bring you a lot of joy in your life. And, you know, feeling as part of the community, feeling the love and friendship of other people. Saturn is turning direct in your 3rd house. For the past couple of months, there might have been some obstacles regarding travels or communication or courses, studies. Maybe you were finishing some degrees, learning or polishing your old skills. Maybe it was difficult for your online business, trading, marketing, PR campaigns. You had to evaluate your close circle of friends, your community, neighbors, relatives, and so on, relationship with your siblings. And now this area is unstuck. Hopefully you built your solid foundations, you marked your boundaries, you ordered your priorities about, information, communication, travels, and close environment, nearest environment. And now this all can give some solid results, like for instance, an online business or studying some knowledge or skill that now you can apply for your work or to achieve your next goal and dream. Right, so Capricorn, for you, this beautiful conjunction of Venus and the Sun happens in your 10th house. This is a superior conjunction, so it's a full moon moment in regards to Venusian topics. But 10th house, we're talking here about career, about status, about reputation. So, oh my God, Capricorns, it's a moment of glory for you. Venus is in the heart of the sun, so it's so exalted, so you can receive the popularity, the love and appreciation of colleagues, of superiors, management, of commoners, of everyone around you. If you are the manager, then your team might give you some reward or nominate you for some company, upgrade. You can have a promotion, increase in your salary, open your own business, especially if it's something connected to Venusian topics like art, like crafts, working with women, with sweets, with money, something financial, like financial advising. Of course, if we talk about love life, then this might be a culmination of a relationship, like an engagement, a wedding, happy events like becoming a parent, becoming a grandparent, becoming auntie or uncle, happy gatherings with your parents, something beautiful happening, let's say, in your father's life, or overall, maybe your parents celebrating something. People value you as a leader, as an expert. So you have this great boost of self-esteem and really appreciation of your efforts and achievements. And the same day, your ruler, Saturn, turns direct. So after several months of reassessing, of going backwards, of finishing some duties, some tasks, of preparation, planning, now you can launch forward, being very assured about what you are doing because you have your solid foundation. And Saturn moves forward in your second house of work, of money, of income. So truly you will receive the deserved salary, payment, recognition for your professional qualities and skills. You can buy yourself something beautiful. Maybe you were gathering money or investing money, and now you get the profit from investments. But you were gathering money, let's say, for a property abroad, or for something that will raise your status in the eyes of other people, even if it's a new fancy vehicle, for instance. So in any case, beautiful time for you, Capricorn, for your achievements and your public image and finances, apparently, as well. Dear Aquarius, for you, this Venus Cazimi happens in your 9th house. So superior conjunction, it is something like a full moon, right? Which gives you more clarity, more inspiration. It's a culmination of a process, maybe that have started around 9 months ago. And 9th house is about education, knowledge, studies, higher education, teaching, publishing. So wow, either you achieve your glory moment through performance, through participating in some social gala events, award ceremonies, conferences. You show that you're an expert and you gain love and popularity of people. It might be online business, it might be publishing a book, it might be graduating and you're not a student anymore. Now you can become demanded a specialist. So popularity, definitely, fulfillment from self-expression, beautiful, pleasant social events, love you might meet while traveling or someone from different culture, joy from being free, from exploring the world, whether by traveling or just by, watching documentaries or joining a tourist club in your city, or becoming a journalist, let's say. You might meet an idol, an inspiration figure for you, a teacher, a guru, like Facebook just reminded me that 6 years ago, I met with Dalai Lama. I mean, he just happened to be in the same city I was residing back then. And I went to the square of this city where he was having a public speech. And I was just so close standing to him. And for me, he is an inspirational person. Maybe you will become yourself such an idol, a guru, a mentor for other people and inspire them. Because Venus in the heart of the sun, she is illuminated, she is exalted. And it's love, it's beauty, it's harmony. Maybe you are becoming somehow wiser about your opinions, more pacifist and peacemaker regarding your worldviews, your priorities. Your moral code becomes more noble, more dignity in you. You're more accepting of the diversity of the world, less prejudices, for instance. So you become like larger than life, and you love it, and people love it as well. Saturn turns direct in your first house. Saturn is your ruler. So you might want to maybe check my older videos about this retrogradation of Saturn for you and for Capricorns. It's kind of important. And while Saturn was moving backwards in your first house of the self, of who am I, of my body, of my responsibility in the world, maybe you were reassessing your plans, your foundations in life, your projects, maybe planning, preparing, building healthy boundaries, streamlining generally your life, who can stay in your life, who is just burden, who is more superficial, and who is a true partner and true friend, paying respect to your family, or separating from old family patterns and establishing your own system of priorities, right? So it was a process of becoming mature, but it might have felt like getting old, like, you know, like having a heavy burden on your shoulders. Oof, but now this process is cleaned, everything is being restructured, reevaluated, planned, and you can move confidently forward because you know your value, you know how much effort you put into some personal projects or relationships or family life or health. And now you can be proud of yourself and go step by step achieving your goals in a confident manner and being already very wise and mature. Dear Pisces, for you, this Venus conjunction, the Sun, happens in your 8th house. And it's a superior conjunction, as we talked at the first half of the video. So we are experiencing like a full moon of Venusian topics, of course, love and money. And 8th house is about very deep and committed love, trust, like deep bonds with your partner, sexuality and pregnancy. And here, of course, for some of you, since it's like a culmination, right? Superior conjunction, so blossoming culmination, so efforts that were putting into something for the last 9 months or so. So for some of you, maybe it's a good news of pregnancy. For others, it's reaching more serious and deeper level of relationships. Of course, maybe for the others will be liberation from some unhealthy and toxic partnerships or anything that you don't feel precious, valuable, happy, and satisfied in. But the true worthy people whom you appreciate and who value you as a priority, then you can move in together, buy together a house, or start together a business, because it's about all sorts of collaborations and partnerships. It can be very fair, very equal, very just, so everyone can be happy. There might be reached a consensus about some investment or business. Maybe you will start now receiving the profits of your shared funds, investments, renting a property, family business. You might receive now finally an inheritance that you were maybe like fighting for, or just dealing with documents for the last couple of months. Maybe, of course, you're receiving alimony or any scholarship or any sort of passive income, tax return, and so on. 8th house is about the deep inner alchemy, the feelings, the emotions, the traumas from the past. It's kind of the dark side of the psyche. So here, Venus and Sun together can cast a gentle, golden, warm, beautiful light onto your shadow, the things you normally would be very afraid of, phobias, fears, obsessions, self-destructive habits, addictions. So that's a great chance to reach the culmination in your healing process, in your work with a therapist, a psychologist. Maybe you're ending your astrology course, tarot studies. So now you can become yourself a consultant, but there is this sense of inner peace, kindness to yourself, love to yourself in the first place, releasing of this fear of commitment, some maybe intimacy issues and psychological traumas. Definitely heal them with love. If you didn't manage so far, you might receive this aha moment, this inspiration to deal with these things now. Saturn is turning direct in your 12th house. Look at this, another emotional hidden house related to the past, to karma, and Saturn is also the planet of karma and time, parenting, and 12th house is the ancestors. So maybe you were experiencing a deep dive into your subconscious, really. All this last couple of months that Saturn was retrograde. And you can check my video here on the channel about Saturn retrograde this year. It probably was tough because Saturn is a cold and dry planet, and it puts obstacles, delays, and it's very serious, rigid. It's the inner critic. So you were revising those inner issues of authority, criticism, fears, not enough self-confidence, doubt, self-doubts, and so on. Maybe you were doing regressions, constellations, but now Saturn will start moving direct. So after you have healed yourself and cleaned yourself from addictions and bad habits and wrong patterns of thinking and this inner monologue and so on, this area of life, your intuition, your connection with others. 12th house is ruled by Pisces traditionally. So this is the house in which we merge with all the society, with all the living beings, with angels, with ancestors. It's like no borders, right, between worlds. So, and Halloween is approaching as well, and so on. So basically, Pisces, you will regain your ease and flow and spirituality, especially if you do something spiritual or related to psychology or occultism. These areas can bring you money, success, luck, joy, clients, pleasure, and you can feel like a true wise one or expert or mentor who can even teach others of how to overcome such issues in your life. So, my dear friends, that was our overview of the superior Venus conjunction at 29 degrees of Libra and what it might bring to each sign. I hope it will be amazing, beautiful, beneficial for you. You will feel like in a bubble of golden light, joy, love, and happiness. Of course, money also will flow to you, and all sorts of abundance in your life. Take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.